she was like, hey, Gina, you know, watch your TikToks. And you did a video not long ago where you said that if a guy wants to sleep with you right away, it usually means he doesn't see you for long term. She said, I only date men who try to sleep with me right away. I was on a date the other night, she says. And I was literally talking about, you know, just nothing sexual. We were just talking, and in the middle of it, he stopped me and wanted to take my clothes off. Now, I don't know where they were, but anyway, and she said she doesn't wear anything provocative. She doesn't talk provocatively. They had never sexted, nothing like that. And she goes on to say, every single guy, young or old, that I date, they always want to sleep with me right away.
Okay, so let me just stop you here, guys, and I'm going to give my answer to this woman's question. The reason why these dudes just want to hook up right away is because these men that these women are chasing are not interested in having the white picket fence and a family with them. Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again, unfortunately, with some more TikTok cringe for you here today. We are going to be kicking today's episode off with this woman right here who seems to think that men hate their girlfriends. I don't know. Later in today's episode, we will also be covering a matchmaker who tells women that they've got it all wrong. So let's jump into this first clip here, guys. Don't forget to subscribe on your way in if you're new. Drop a comment, leave your thoughts, and let's jump into it.
I'm outside the gym and I'm just thinking right now how much men hate their girlfriends. I'm gonna tell you why. You know when like you're dating somebody and like this man just wants you to be like such a natural queen. Like they think you without lashes, you without makeup, like you're so beautiful, this and that. They're like, you know, you don't have to get your nails this long, you don't have to get your eyelashes this long. But as soon as this man becomes single, what type of bitches does he go for? The bitches with the longest nails, with the longest eyelashes. When you, as their girlfriend, has these things, it's like, babe, you should, you know, you don't have to get your lashes this long. You don't have to get your nails this long. Like, you're so pretty naturally, like, you're so beautiful. But as soon as a girl that's not their girlfriend does the same thing, it's the hottest thing in the world. Like, it's like they're this Instagram fucking baddie, but when the girlfriend is doing it, it's oh no, babe, you should be natural, you know, you're so beautiful, this and that.
I mean, it's almost like men don't like their girlfriends going out there and dolling themselves up for the purpose of seeking male validation from other dudes. Do you ever consider that maybe when this man becomes single, he goes after these women because he knows that they're for fun use only? You know what I mean? Do you think he's really going out there and trying to wife up the women with the incredibly long, you know, like these incredibly long nails that these women do, these huge eyelashes and things like that? It's like, no. Typically, men are going to avoid women like this. Like the amount of times, guys, whenever I cover video clips with women who do this crap and do all of this, immediately the comments are like, oh, hell no, man, because they understand what these things oftentimes represent.
You're such a hater for your own girlfriend, but the first type of bitches that you go for have all the things that you told your girlfriend she didn't need.
I mean, the thing that this woman is failing to realize is that, again, men don't like it when their girlfriends and wives try and seek validation from strangers. You know, if you want to dress yourself up, do the nails, the eyelashes, and so on, and he's telling you you don't need to do it, I mean, who is this all really for? Women like to say, oh, it's for myself, guys. I post all of these pictures online for myself. It's complete nonsense, okay? They post these photos of themselves online, they get all dressed up and so on for attention from strangers that they don't know. Oh, you know, guys, I just hit the club with the girlfriends because, you know, they're just my friends and we're having a girls' night out. It's like, okay, you want to have girls' nights out? That's fine. You can be single. You know what I'm saying? It's not girls' brunches, okay? It's girls' night out. It's girls' clubbing, right? It's I'm going to doll myself up, going to put on all this extra crap, and then I'm going to take Instagram photos because I know it will get me validation. You see what I'm saying? And oftentimes, guys, the men who are in relationships with these women, it's not like they personally require you to wear these things and everything. They're trying to tell you that, hey, maybe they're attracted to you without them and so on. You know, but of course these women take it as some sort of grave offense.
Make it make sense. Like, it's just crazy how men are such fucking haters, because this is how you know when a man is dating a woman, they just want them to be the worst version of themselves. Because first of all, who said I'm getting my nails and my lashes done for you? It's for me.
Yeah, guys, she's getting all of these things. She's not doing them for her man, okay? She's doing it for herself. I think we all know the translation here, guys. I think it's lost all meaning when women just come out here and they say they do this crap for themselves. It's complete nonsense. You can basically bet every single time that whenever a woman comes out here and says that she does something for herself, it's usually just for attention from other dudes. Like, that's really what it is. Let's continue on to the next clip here. This one, I had a brief skim before I jumped into today's videos, okay? This one here is completely awful. This one is from a devout womanist, guys, and this is how to answer misogynists, okay? I don't like to say the word because YouTube loses its mind over the word, but let's jump into it.
Here are the best answers to some of the misogynistic comments and statements rife on this app. Those of you who know me will know that I'm a feminist activist, and so I'm thrown misogynistic and sexist comments all the time, and I'm expected to answer them like a good girl. So here are my favourite answers to some of the most common misogynistic and sexist comments I receive. Comment number 1. It's not all men.
How on earth, guys, is saying not all men a sexist comment? Can somebody please explain this to me? Right? Like, this makes absolutely no sense. You see, what these women do, guys, is if you disagree with them, then that means that they don't like women, that you don't like women, excuse me. Like, you're some sort of a bigot. Okay? It's either you're a womanist, right? You're an activist for women's rights, or you don't like women. Even if you say something that makes total sense, no insults, no nothing. If you say not all, so if this woman comes out here, guys, and she says a generalization about men that is perhaps incorrect, like, for example, most men are violent, okay? And she goes, not, you know, she says most men are violent, but if I sit there and go, well, not all men are violent, then apparently I don't like women when I make that comment. That is crazy, guys. Absolutely crazy.
Comment number 1. It's not all men. Yeah, we know that, Einstein. Most of us have fathers, brothers, uncles and cousins who are men, and we would hope that those men are not harassing women. But those same men, the men who love us, also tell us not to go outside alone in case a man does something to us. So riddle me that, if you will. Is it an issue or is it not an issue?
I mean, it's just called using common sense, right? Like, women love to use this crap all the time. If men aren't dangerous, then why is it that I have to take care of myself in the middle of the night when I want to walk down dark alleyways? Why do I have to take care of my own personal safety? I don't know, maybe because you should use common sense. Like, guys, even I, right, as a dude, I have to actually think about areas that I will and will not go to. You know what I'm saying? Like, people just refuse to use common sense, and then they like to go, well, it's because all men are violent and all men are terrible. How about we just understand that we need to use common sense in order to guarantee our personal safety? You know what I mean? But these people, they lack common sense, guys. They completely lack common sense, right? It's like, I make this point all the time, guys, but I don't recommend getting married, for example, because I think you risk a lot as a man. Does this mean that every woman is going to try and scam you out of your assets and your house or whatever, or your kids? No. But my point is that it's just, in the interest of self-preservation, it's probably an unwise idea for men to get married. It's just using common sense. That's all that it is.
Comment number 2. If women insist on going out in this dangerous world by themselves and something happens to them, they need to take some responsibility for that. They know the world is dangerous. They could just stay at home. Okay, Sunny Jane, we're going to pretend that 2 minutes ago you weren't telling me that I was hysterical and overreacting, because it's not all men. Because you seem to have changed your argument now in order to suit this point. And if I step outside into this dangerous world and something happens to me, I'm supposed to take responsibility for that because I know that the world is dangerous. But it is also extremely bold of you to assume that if something does happen to me, it wouldn't have been done by a man that I know, since most women who are abused by men that they know very well. So how do I avoid that danger? Avoid all of you?
I think that's a good strategy. I think that this woman should just avoid all men, to be honest. I think that's better for everybody. Here's the thing, guys, okay? We don't live in a world where everybody is perfect and going to do the right thing, okay? So it's important to take care of your own personal safety, okay? For example, guys, right? If I go to the beach and I see that there's a sign there that says there are sharks in the water, it's potentially dangerous, and I go in the water and I get eaten by a shark, right? My limb gets torn off or something, right? I get chewed on by a shark. Yes, I mean, it's the shark's fault, I guess, for thinking that I'm a tasty treat to eat, but at the same time, I bear some degree of responsibility for going into the water, okay? Right? If you're dumb enough to, for example, go out there and get intoxicated in the middle of the night surrounded by people that you don't know, for example, hey, that's probably not the best idea to do. This is why it's important for parents to be in the picture, particularly fathers, because they feed this sort of common sense to their children. And that's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? If you refuse to use common sense, that's fine. Nobody's trying to not hold these dudes accountable, by the way. Even other men will say, hey, listen, if a man does something bad, no problem. Throw him in jail. If the crime's bad enough, throw that man in jail. You know what I'm saying? Like men who do terrible things to others, particularly to women, for example, a lot of men just want to see them thrown in prison, and they don't particularly fare well in prison either, interestingly enough. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like there is a difference between accidents and such and like using common sense and whatever the case may be. The problem is, guys, is these women refuse to take any sort of responsibility for anything whatsoever. If this woman wants to view all men as dangerous and avoid them, that's totally fine by me. I think she's dangerous to men too.
Statement number 3. You don't have to worry about me forcing myself on you. The insinuation being that I'm too ugly for a man to do that to me. Okay, my man. Someone needs to call the police, and this isn't the gotcha moment that you think it is. What you're basically saying is that you would force yourself on women that you think are attractive.
I mean, that's not what the person said at all. Like, that doesn't make sense. The person just said that they wouldn't with you. You see what I'm saying? Like, and so this woman's threatening to call the police on these people. This is like this woman is a professional Karen. That's what I would call this, guys. A professional Karen. Oh, all of these men in my comments leaving awful messages. It's like, number one, it's the internet. Welcome to the internet, okay? And number two, some of your examples here are just downright stupid. If you want to call the police on these men, what's going to happen is probably damn well nothing, because you're being hysterical. This is why, here's the thing. The reason why people leave comments and tell you that you're hysterical is because you're being hysterical. Let's continue on to the next clip. I can't tolerate this woman anymore. This next one, I believe, is the matchmaker who says this is a ladies' problem. Ladies, this is your problem. Let's take a listen.
Okay, ladies, I'm giving it to you straight today. I'm going to tell you what your problem is, all right, when it comes to men and dating. I got an email from a young woman last night, and it breaks my heart. And I'm going to share all the info with you in a sec. Hang on. Okay, so her email went like this. I'm going to paraphrase, right? She was like, hey, Gina, watch your TikToks, and you did a video not long ago where you said that if a guy wants to sleep with you right away, it usually means he doesn't see you for long term. She said, I only date men who try to sleep with me right away. I was on a date the other night, she says, and I was literally talking about, just nothing sexual. We were just talking, and in the middle of it, he stopped me and wanted to take my clothes off. Now, I don't know where they were, but anyway, and she said she doesn't wear anything provocative. She doesn't talk provocatively. They had never sexted, nothing like that. And she goes on to say, every single guy, young or old, that I date, they always want to sleep with me right away.
Okay, so let me just stop you here, guys. And I'm going to give my answer to this woman's question. The reason why these dudes just want to hook up right away is because these men that these women are chasing are not interested in having the white picket fence and a family with them. Because make no mistake, these women are meeting these men on dating applications, okay? So what's happening is these girls are out here swiping on men that are highly attractive. These men who these women deem to be highly attractive have a whole bunch of options, and these men are not looking to commit to these women typically. You see what I'm saying? So this is why the dudes will be like, you know what? I'm just going to have fun with this woman, and then I'm going to bounce, right? I'm not interested in dating her. I'm not interested in anything serious. And to be honest with you guys, this is fairly damn obvious. You can look at men's profiles, and I guarantee you, if you used a lick of common sense, you would be able to tell which ones are clearly just there hooking up with a whole bunch of women and who are not interested in actually committing to you. But women, guys, you know, they always pull this stuff. Oh, I didn't know. It was just so confusing. Maybe don't swipe on the dude who is clearly just, you know, a playboy. But they don't understand this.
Single guy, young or old, that I date, they always want to sleep with me right away, you know? And she's like, do you hear this a lot? What's the problem? All right, so let's talk about what the problem is. And this is what happens to so many of you ladies. Not the sexting thing, maybe not the sex, but so I think in her case, and I think it's the case of most women, you are not pre-qualifying these guys correctly. You are just not. You know, as a matchmaker, I've learned how to read between the lines, and sometimes you guys want to leap to conclusions that aren't there. So either you're not paying attention to the right red flags, and you're paying attention to the wrong red flags that aren't even red flags sometimes. And what it boils down to is you are choosing the wrong men over and over and over and over again. So
wow. What do you know, guys? A matchmaker, a woman dating coach, it seems, who actually got it correct. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing, guys. Here's what makes this, you know, a lot more interesting, by the way, is, I mean, not only are these women choosing the wrong men, but here's the thing, okay? Even the men who aren't women's first choice are starting to do this crap as well, by the way, because they understand that these women are not long-term commitment, right? Like, they're not viable as girlfriends. You might have a guy, for example, he's not typically attractive to women, but some random woman might decide to give him a shot. Okay, but the thing is, he will probably still try these days, guys, because a lot of men understand, hey, you know, why should I go out there and buy her the dinner date and do all of this stuff? And for a woman who's clearly probably hooked up with a whole bunch of men before without them having to do a damn thing. So this is actually, by the way, this is a problem that women have actually made a lot worse for themselves, because men are realizing how low the bar women set actually is for men that they find attractive. You know what I mean? So what's happening is a lot more men are doing this these days. They're like, you know what? I'm just going to have my fun and then bounce because, hey, she's going to do it with some guy. And also, a lot less men these days are interested in commitment as well. Like, if you're trying to sell the idea to men that it's a good idea to commit to a modern day woman, guys, I mean, so many of these women have so many damn issues. It is absolutely crazy. You know, like, the situation has just gotten so much worse. Let's keep going.
Is you are choosing the wrong men over and over and over and over again. So this is your problem. Why you get into these situations with these men who don't treat you right, or jerk you around, or you date for a while and find out he was a loser. You are not pre-qualifying right out of the gate.
I love the language that we use, by the way, is these men, what was the language, okay? Let's go back here. It's very interesting. These men who don't treat you right. Do you ever consider that maybe a lot of these women, by the way, are actually just not deserving of commitment in the first place? You know, these men don't treat you right. They're just a-holes. Okay. Are they a-holes and do they just not treat you right? Or could the alternative also be that maybe they just don't want to give you commitment? Right? Because a lot of these girls, guys, they're so used to just hearing the word yes. A lot of them have never truly been told the word no. And so when a man comes along and he's actually not interested in a relationship with her, he's not pushing for anything, he's not trying to make things happen, then the woman takes like offense to this and she's like, well, he's not treating me right. Can you imagine if dudes said this? Okay, let's flip this around the other way. A man goes out on a date with a woman, first date, they go to I don't know, they go have dinner or something. The man takes her out to dinner, whatever. Okay, and then at the end of the night, she gives him a peck on the cheek and then she leaves. Imagine if that dude said that he wasn't treated right by the woman because she didn't sleep with him. You know, the women don't give intimacy, guys, so they're not treating us right. Can you imagine if that was the expectation that men had, by the way, that if she doesn't sleep with you, if she doesn't give you intimacy, then that means she's an a-hole who's screwing you around and she doesn't treat you right and she's not good to men and so on, and she doesn't respect men and so on. It's just such weird language to use, guys, to the point where, like, if men don't want to commit to women, all of this kind of shaming language comes out. It's very weird. Very, very weird.
Over and over and over and over again. So this is your problem. Why you get into these situations with these men who don't treat you right, or jerk you around, or you date for a while and find out he was a loser.
Yep. Man doesn't want to commit to you, right? You date him for a bit, but he doesn't want to commit to you. Ergo, apparently the man's a loser. Even if the man, by the way, is highly successful, has his life in order and so on, well, if the man doesn't want to commit to you, don't worry, queen, he was a loser anyway. Hilarious. You
are not pre-qualifying right out of the gate, but there are ways to do that, all right? Hang on. You have to pay attention to all of the details, okay? This is why I'm so passionate about helping you ladies in my program. And I have to say, the ladies that have already started joining, gotten all my freebies, I have tons and tons of freebies. One is I wrote this style guide just for the ladies that are working with me through my 6-week program.
Let me just stop you right here, madam. Okay, this is where we start going off and we start just getting lost in the sauce a bit here. Most women's problem is not their fashion, okay? Like, particularly outside of the club. You know what I mean? It's like the women are just out here choosing the wrong men, right? The colors of your outfit and so on probably aren't going to change a whole lot. Maybe dressing more modestly might help you secure commitment, sure. But this woman, so she's selling a program here. Let me just say this, guys. This woman is starting to overcomplicate this nonsense, all right? It's really not that hard to tell if a man is not interested in having something serious with you, okay? How do you tell? Number one, if he looks like a bad boy on dating applications, obviously he probably doesn't want to commit to you. You can tell the men that get all of the matches. Not that damn hard, okay? The men who are the more highly attractive the man is, the less likely he is to go and give you commitment. That's just right off the bat, okay? You know, the dude's jacked, he's got the shirtless photos, the tattoos, and so on. Yeah, probably not going to work for you, right? So there's number one here. Number two, if you can't get commitment out of a man, and I mean a relationship, then you can't. Right? These women want to like hook up with dudes for 3 months and then have a conversation about a relationship and he says no and then they feel scammed. It's stupid. If you cannot secure commitment from a man up front, he doesn't want to commit to you. Right? You see what I'm saying, guys? But these women will go out here, give their bodies away for 8 weeks and be shocked and surprised that the men don't want anything with them. Ridiculous.
For a while and find out he was a loser. You are passionate about helping you ladies in my program. And I have to say, the ladies that have already started joining, gotten all my freebies, I have tons and tons of freebies. One is I wrote this style guide just for the ladies that are working with me through my 6-week program. This isn't about matchmaking, ladies, so hold your horses. This is about me leveling you up in everything from what you wear to how you pre-qualify to how you don't pre-qualify to how you message and raising your standards in every way.
Okay, now we're going a little bit off the deep end, raising your standards. This is where I have to sigh, guys, because here's the thing. Women go out there, hook up with a whole bunch of bad boys, right? Claim that, you know, men are just this, men are that. And so they want to fix the problem. And then how do women actually fix the problem? They raise their standards. Their standards need to be raised. And it's funny because there are two kinds of standards that we're talking about simultaneously here. Okay, the looks standards, how attractive a man is, and what he's willing to provide to her, whether that be commitment, finances, and so on. So when women say that they're raising their standards, what it actually means is they only raise their standards, okay, the provisioning stuff, for men that they don't find attractive. The men that they don't find attractive will now be required to take her out on even more dinner dates, okay? They'll be required to pay for everything, plan everything, keep communication going. They're like, just do all of the crap from A to Z, okay? Because her standards have increased as a result of hooking up with a whole bunch of bad boys. Now, simultaneously, her standards won't actually increase for the men that she finds attractive. Whenever you hear a woman talk about raising her standards, please understand what this means is she's hooked up with a whole bunch of dudes and now she's ready for a nice man. It's basically a spit in the face for men, for good men. That's what it really is. The men that were never originally attractive to these women, it's a complete spit in the face of these dudes.
From what you wear to how you pre-qualify to how you don't pre-qualify to how you message, and raising your standards in every way. So if you want more info about it, I created a style guide just for this program, 40 pages long. The women are like, thank you, just this alone. So anyway, we're killing it. Go over to Instagram, DM me with the word love, and get the info.
Oh my goodness. Why do you don't need a 40-page book to learn how to dress yourself as a woman and to become more successful at dating. Most women's problem is really not the way they dress. And if it is, you know what the solution is for most of that? Dress more modestly. That's it. 3 words, right? Don't dress like you're going to the club and you can get a man. Easy. Absolutely easy. But of course, the question is, guys, can they get a man that they actually want? And usually the answer is no. But we are going to be leaving today's episode there. I have a couple of more clips that I could have covered here today, but I actually don't want to listen to these people speak anymore. So we're going to be leaving it there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.